Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is grill. Let's take a look at some of the definition. The main way that this verb is used is to mean to cook food using a grill. So you might think of being outdoors, but there are indoor grills as well, but it's a specific type of preparation. The second, less common way that this verb gets used is to mean to intensely and persistently question someone. So think about asking one question followed by another, followed by another, followed by another. That's persistently. Grill is a regular verb. To make the progressive tense, all we need to do is add ing to form grilling. To make the past tense and participle forms, all we're going to do is add ed to the end. And because this verb ends in a voiced l sound, the ed is going to make a d sound. Grilled, grilled. The only phrasal verb that I could think of with grill connects back to our second definition about intensely and persistently questioning someone. And the way you might see this used is to grill someone about something. And so I think many times you're going to see an object after the verb grill, whether it's used with about or without it. So here's an example sentence. His parents grilled him about where he had been until 2 a.m. So imagine parents and a teenager. Where were you? Who were you with? What were you doing? Right? Question after question. You might see just his parents grilled him, period, as well. And based on the context, you might be able to know what types of questions or what the subject of the questions was. Let's continue using grill in a few different tenses. Today we'll look at past progressive, present perfect, and simple future with be going to. Let's start with past progressive. We use this tense to talk about an activity that was ongoing in the past. And to make this verb tense, we're going to use the past tense form of be. So that's was or were. And then we'll use that ing form of the verb. Here's an affirmative sentence. She made potato salad while her husband was grilling. So that activity grilling was occurring, and while it was happening, another action was completed. To do the negative in past progressive, all we need to do is insert not after the be verb. You might hear the contractions weren't or wasn't. So let's take a look here. There wasn't a weekend that we weren't grilling. So hopefully what you're noticing with the affirmative and negative examples here is that it's very common to see past progressive used in the same sentence as simple past tense. Finally, let's make a question in past progressive. Our yes or no question is going to start with a past form of be, so was or were. Then we'll have our subject, and then the ing form of the verb. Here's an example. Were the interviewers grilling you about your work experience? Again, that's that intense questioning meaning of the verb. Next, let's look at present perfect. We use this activity to talk about something that happened in the indefinite past. So we don't know when, just that it was sometime in the past. Or Or we might use it to talk about an action that started in the past and it continues now into the present. To make the present perfect, we're going to use have or has, and then the participle form of our verb. Let's look at an affirmative example. They have grilled their breakfast. So this might be an example of that indefinite past. We don't know when these people grilled, but we know it occurred at some point in the past. If I want to make a negative present perfect sentence, I'm going to insert not after the have or has. You might hear native speakers use hasn't or haven't. Here's an example of that. He hasn't grilled since he moved into his new house. If I want to make a yes or no question in the present perfect, I'm going to start with have or has, then I'll have my subject, and then the participle form of the verb. Have you ever grilled pineapple? Next, let's look at simple future. And today we're going to practice simple future using be, going to, and our base verb. And the form of be is going to be in the present, so it can be am, is, or are. Let's take a look at an affirmative example. We're going to grill corn and hot dogs this weekend. So the we are is in contraction form there. If I want to make a negative sentence in the simple future using be going to, I'm just going to insert not after the be verb. Here's an example of that. The teacher isn't going to grill her students about the missing book. And if I want to make a yes or no question in the simple future, I'll start with a form of be, then I'll have my subject, then going to, and the base verb. Are you going to grill some food tomorrow? Next, let's take a look at some words that are related to grill. You might notice my note here that we're also going to talk about one that gets confused with our verb. So, grill, same spelling, same pronunciation, can be a noun, and it could have a couple different meanings. One meaning is a metal framework used for cooking food over an open fire. So I included a picture in the bottom here so we can see the metal frame and then we can see the food on the grill. Here's an example sentence with grill as a noun. The hamburgers are on the grill. And the article the helps me know that grill is being used as a noun. A second meaning for the noun form of grill is a restaurant that serves grilled food. So you might recognize this word from the names of certain restaurants. Here's an example. Let's have dinner at the sports bar and grill. So you'll notice I've capitalized the last three words in that sentence because it's a proper name. I kept it very non-specific, but it seems like most towns have at least one restaurant with grill in its name. Another related word is griller, and it can have a couple of different meanings. The first is just a person who grills food. Here's an example. I'm not an experienced griller. And the second meaning for griller could be an appliance for grilling food. Here's an example of that. This griller uses electricity. It's really common to see gas or charcoal or other ways to form that fire or heat for the purpose of grilling. The last word we're going to look at today is something that sometimes gets confused. It's going to have a completely different meaning than what we've talked about earlier. The pronunciation is exactly the same, grill, but the spelling here, Grille, means a grating or screen of metal bars or wires that's placed in front of something, and the purpose of that metal bar or wire is to be protection or to help with ventilation. So the most common example I could think of is on a car in the front here. So I'm trying to point that out on your screen for you. Here's an example in a sentence. The car got a new grille and new wheels while being repaired. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day.